What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you realize I am a man of culture, and that's why we're out here in this Walmart parking lot filming a YouTube video. I actually have to run in and get some anti-itch cream. Was it foot powder? I'm just kidding. Maybe not. Anyways, today I wanted to give you guys an update on the dual motor wired cruiser project, which I have officially named the PsychoCycle, because only a psycho would want to ride this thing. It's going to peak at full charge at nearly 6,000 watts. At nominal charge, 5,400 watts. Front motor, 2,400 watts. The back motor, 3,000 watts. We're still using that same controller with the shunt mod. And also, shout out to Ebiker Builder. He actually did build a custom dual motor e-bike. Each motor is a Bafang geared hub motor. So he's been helping me out and telling me how to make sure I don't kill myself on this thing, making sure that the front motor stays in the front dropouts, some electronic related issues, and more. And so check out his channel if you want to learn more about how to make a custom dual motor e-bike and other e-bike related things. So thank you again, Ebiker Builder, for helping me out. Just wanted to give you a shout out. And I did just get back from an awesome place up in Connecticut called Northeast Battery Systems. One of the owners, named Kevin, is going to help me out relacing the motor from the wheel that's too large that I originally got into the stock front wired freedom wheel. I, by mistake, ordered a wheel that was too big, so Kevin is going to help me out in swapping that over. And he also does build custom battery packs, so check his website out. And if you are local and you need help with your e-bike battery, check his business out. I'll leave that in a link in the description below. I will probably be using his services for a future 72 volt, 60 mile an hour e-bike that I might be building in the future if everything goes according to plan. So stay tuned for that. Shout out to YouTuber Chris Cross, who referred me to this business. Check out his channel. He does e-bike reviews in my state. But today, I just wanted to give you guys an update on what the PsychoCycle progress is. The front motor, the controller, the throttle, the battery, all that stuff. So we just made a quick and dirty video on throwing the parts together and just seeing if everything works. And so far, so good. Everything is working just fine. You're going to see how the torque arms are going to be installed to make sure the front wheel doesn't fly out of the front fork, the type of front fork that we're going to be using, and more. And yes, I do know that there is another YouTuber who hinted at making a dual motor wired freedom / cruiser. And one of the reasons I'm releasing this video now is because in case you see anything from this video that's a good idea that you might see in their build, just know that they copied me. I didn't copy them. And yes, I am that petty. You know, I've always wanted to be one of those YouTubers that makes drama with other YouTubers. They say it gives me more views. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see if this video blows up. Speaking of videos blowing up, if you like content like this, like the video. If you hate it, I don't really care. But tell me in the comments below, because it's good for engagement. And if I've earned your subscription, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Fun fact, I actually turn off all my notifications on my phone, so I probably miss everyone's videos. But anyways, back to the topic. So without further ado, let's check out the progress on the PsychoCycle and see what the build is going to be like. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick and dirty one right here. This is part of what I am calling Project PsychoCycle, the dual motor wired cruiser. Let me show you what I've got here. Let me show you what this whole mess is right here. So this is a throttle that sits underneath your handlebar that you use with your left thumb. So this bike is going to have two throttles. I did initially want to put one throttle only, but that will reduce how much control I have over the front motor, which I'm going to need a lot of control. Oh, hey. Laura, can you sit over there? Can you go over there, please? Oh, yes. Yes, you're a nice lady. Oh, thank you. So this is gonna give me as much control as possible over the front motor, which I'm gonna need a lot of because, well, let me just show you. So this is the display that I got. It is a small minimalist display. It's a KT display that works with the KT controller that I have over there. And what I wanna do, why I got a tiny display is I don't want two giant screens on my handlebar. I just want one screen. And then this tiny little guy I could put next to the screen, next to the main screen, or I could even fit this underneath the main screen because honestly, I don't care about looking at it. What's this? Oh, hello. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, thank you for the help. Thank you for the approval. Laura is excited for the PsychoCycle. I know. You like e-bikes too. I know. So the handlebar of this bike won't be full of two giant screens. It'll just have the one big screen. And then this will be tucked away somewhere neatly because I don't care what this says. Honestly, I don't care how many watts it's pulling. I already know how many watts it's gonna pull. All I want this to do is give me full power to this throttle when I need it. Or maybe I can adjust it with this button down here, and I will have easy access to that if this is sitting underneath the main display. If you notice this whole mess here, these are a bunch of spliced wires from the main power cable that runs to the motor. These are all little sensor wires. These two are unused. And these are the main phase wires right here that give the motor its actual power. So I'm gonna clean all this up. I'm gonna be splicing everything up much better with solder and heat shrink, making sure it can withstand heat, because you are gonna need an extension cord to get from the controller all the way to the front motor. Next up, this is the controller. This is a stock wired controller. It's 40 amps. This is what comes from the factory. And this motor is going to be getting 2400 watts because this is 40 amps. I am not shunt modding this. If anything, I might try and see if I can reduce some power to this by bringing it down to 35 amps. Maybe I can take some of the existing solder off and get this down to 35 amps, and I'll tell you why in a second. This is just a 60 volt battery right here that came off of my dual battery wired cruiser. And this, by the way, guys, this is the most important part, in my opinion, of the build, which is test fitting the main components to see if it works. And let me show you guys, it works. I can't put all full throttle into this just yet. And I'll show you why in a second, but it works. We have power and everything's spinning correctly. So let's go ahead and turn this whole thing off. Oh, thank you for that. And by the way, this whole system is going to run through the battery blender. I'm gonna splice the battery cable two ways. So two controllers are just going to see one battery, one big 45 amp hour battery. And why that's good is because I don't want them to run on separate batteries, because that's a waste. If I'm using up the rear motor's battery and the front battery is just hanging out, that's a waste. And so both motors can use both batteries at the same time whenever I need to. And I'm not overloading the batteries because they are running in parallel. And that gives me nominal 80 amps, peak a little bit more amps, but nominal 80 amps to work with, which is plenty. This whole bike will peak around 90 amps because the back is 50 amps and the front will be 40 amps. Let me go ahead and show you guys the harder part of this build, which is the front fork. Now this is a fork actually from a different dual motor bike that I still have to review. You guys will see that in a little bit. But the fork that is on its way from China, which by the way takes forever. I ordered this fork a month ago and it's still not here, but it is on the way. I do have tracking for it. It actually just got into the United States yesterday and I ordered it just about a month ago. So that's how long these things take to get here. But check this out. So this is a Bafang G61 1000 watt motor. It's nominal 1000 watt. I don't know if you guys can see that. G61. Here's how we're gonna make sure your boy doesn't die while trying to ride this thing, because I'm honestly a little bit worried about these front forks. Even though these are, as you can see, big beefy dropouts, I am still worried because this is probably gonna be one of the most powerful motors that has ever been put into a front fork. So here's how I'm gonna make sure this thing doesn't break apart. All right, so see this little torque washer right here? This normally is on the inside. However, we had to make a little compromise because I wanted 2 torque arms. These are torque arms from Gren Technologies. These are the V6 torque arm. These are great. As you can see, there's notches. They're highly adjustable, and I didn't adjust them yet, obviously, but these torque arms are gonna press into this fork. There's a little bracket that comes out. So it's gonna press into the fork right here from this side and from this side. So that's gonna take most of the load off of these dropouts right here. On top of that, obviously we have the torque washer in here. And then the bolts that this motor comes with are 14mm bolts. And those have a tough time fitting into this fork over here because the fork that I have on the way, it's very similar to the dropout here. That's why we're just using this bike as a stand for now. But I'm gonna have to do some kind of grinding. I might have to get smaller diameter bolts. I might just grind this bolt down to make sure this fits. Another thing I'm gonna have to do is this axle actually is a 14mm axle. And what they do is they just kind of shave down the sides to fit into this small notch. This axle is actually too big for this dropout. So it's not seating all the way down as far as it needs to. So I'm gonna have to grind this dropout out a little bit down to make sure the axle can go down all the way, to make sure this torque washer can go down as well and fit into the notch of the fork. And then from there, I can grind this bolt down and make sure the bolt can fit. So this thing isn't going anywhere. I've got a torque washer, I've got big dropouts, I've got 2 giant high quality torque arms right here, and I'm gonna pre-torque these. If you notice, there's a little bit of play in there. That's why it's important to pre-torque them, push them in, and then tightly mount them up against where it's gonna be pushing, because otherwise that play is gonna still break this, potentially at least. And this wheel, by the way, this is, I ordered this from China. I asked them, hey, can you give me a 26x4" wheel? And sure enough, they did in fact do that. This is 4 inches wide, but that's actually too big. So I am on my way over to a new bike shop. It's about 45 minutes away that they say they can put this into the old wheel. I went through 2 different bike shops already, and both of them said no. One of them initially said yes, but then later they called me and say, hey, I don't know who told you yes. It's actually no, we can't do it. So I don't know how long it's gonna take for them to do this, hopefully quick. While they're working on that, I might be working on the front fork that is on its way. But yeah, guys, that is the plan for the, what I will call the PsychoCycle. That's gonna be the official name of this dual motor wired cruiser. It's gonna have 2400 watts here, and then 3000 watts on the back. And that's nominal. It actually will be closer to 6000 at full charge. That's terrifying. I'm honestly a little bit scared to ride this. This front wheel is going to slip a lot. And so we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna have to tune down the power, maybe make sure the power ramps up slowly in this front wheel so it's not sliding all over the place. This front wheel will only be used in straight lines. Guarantee you it's going to lose traction around turns unless I'm going high speed, but I don't want to be going 40 miles an hour over round turns regardless. The top speed of this bike will definitely be over 40 miles an hour. It will not be over 45 because that's how fast the free wheels spin. My guess is that the top speed will be about 42 or 43 miles an hour on this bike. And the torque that it's going to have is insane. It's just going to be crazy. I'm going to have to hold on for dear life. But yeah, guys, so I just wanted to give you an update on what's going on. I had to wait forever for this front motor to get here. And I have all these parts that I've been sitting on for a while. These actually showed up pretty quick from AliExpress. A couple weeks and I had these. The motor took a month, and obviously the front fork took forever. It's still not here. So hopefully I can get this done in a few weeks. That would be nice. My plan is to at least put everything together. And it's going to look ugly at first when I put both controllers on the bike. It's going to look ugly. It's all going to be a zip-tied mess. But I am here to test the function first. And then we're going to make it look pretty. We're going to put some ABS plastic around everything. and make sure everything looks really nice. And then, yeah, hopefully your boy doesn't die while riding this thing. So yeah, so that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. And stay tuned for this bike. I am going to review it in a little bit. I'm just using it right now as a test stand for the front motor because I don't have my front forks yet for the other bike. So yeah, guys, that's it for today. Until next time, peace out.